DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy, family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574 today. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
Hey, welcome to FLX Weekly here on Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. I'm Jim Cinecropi here, live inside the FingerLakes1.com studios in Seneca Falls, New York. And today we're going to talk to Robin Parker. She's the local coordinator for Youth for Understanding. They facilitate foreign exchange students, both locally, and the organization serves across the entire country. But we've all been to, when I went to high school, we had foreign exchange students. I think everybody who had a high school career remembers a foreign exchange student or two. And so we're going to talk about the benefits of foreign exchange students, how to become a host family if you're interested in hosting a foreign exchange student, and just a little bit more about the phenomenon of these foreign exchange student programs. So it should be pretty interesting. Looking forward to the conversation. But first, this episode of FLX Weekly is brought to you by Cafe 19. Breakfast, lunch, pastries, celebratory cakes, pies, and catering, guaranteed fresh and always local at Cafe 19 in Seneca Falls. Also offering an assortment of beverages, including tea, coffee, and espresso drinks. Check out their full menus and weekly specials at xixcafe.com. And also Weston Company Diamonds and Jewelry. Weston Company Diamonds and Jewelry is a full-service family-owned jewelry store serving Auburn and the surrounding communities. Check them out online at westandcompany.com or stop in and browse their selections at 10 Genesee Street in downtown Auburn. West & Company, crafting fine jewelry since 1982. So, welcome in Robin Parker. Robin, thanks for coming in.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You're the local coordinator for Youth for Understanding, and I know that we're talking about foreign exchange students, but the name Youth for Understanding and a little bit more about your organization.
Yeah, so back in 1951, shortly after the end of World War II, the level of animosity between America and Germany was still pretty high. And the idea was conceived that if we could get the younger generation to connect with each other, that it would ease those tensions. So 75 students were selected from Germany and Austria area and placed with American families, and where they stayed for a year. And upon returning home, they reported to their families and friends, hey, those Americans aren't so bad after all, And the American families that they were staying with had the same reaction. So in 1952, Youth for Understanding was formally organized into a nonprofit organization. And so that's kind of how we were formed, how we started, and we're one of the oldest, most well-established foreign exchange facilitators in the country. And our mission is basically, it revolves around the premises of intercultural understanding, mutual respect, and social responsibility. These things all lead to high levels of personal development and growth, which leads to greater opportunities. So that's our effort to kind of do this ripple effect among the young people, going outward is obviously proven successful over all these years.
Yeah, definitely. So there was not any foreign exchange students really prior to 1951. Is that true to believe that, like at least on a widespread basis?
I am not aware.
Yeah, I mean, even travel and transportation, it seems like it would be harder. But I never really thought about that. But it's kind of born out of the idea of let's get the youth from these two, rival nations, and then you come to an understanding that we're all kind of very similar.
Yeah, it's the first program that I'm aware of that was an all-out grassroots movement to try and create better connections between these two countries.
I mentioned off the top, that anybody that's been to high school here in America probably knows of more than one foreign exchange student who was in their school, and maybe you were good friends. Maybe they stayed at your house. But, and I myself too, I can remember three, and ironically, they were from Germany. I wasn't in high school in 1950, but they were, German foreign exchange students. There were two girls and and a guy, and the boy liked to golf, and I played a lot of golf with him, and played on the soccer team. Became pretty good friends. But I think that the average person probably knows that foreign exchange students exist, but like how and why, and why did they choose to come, and how to this school in this town. So talk a little bit about, I guess, just generally the process of how this comes about.
Right. So it's a very good question. All these students that we work with come through a scholarship program. There's like 3 different scholarship programs. And the criteria of these programs are proficiency in English. They have to have a certain grade level. They have to have references, showing that they're good citizens in their community. They will do, they go through interviews, they go through orientations, they will do little videos, they create a profile about themselves, their family, their background, their beliefs, their activities that they enjoy, things like that. And we gather all this information. So once they're accepted through the scholarship program, they end up in our database, and then we start trying to find host families for them in our various communities. Yeah. So I, as a local coordinator in this area, I cover a 100-mile radius. And so I try and work with schools all around.
So you're basically Syracuse, Rochester, Ithaca, that's all in your Corning even, like 100 miles. I'm trying to think of how far that would go.
I currently have students in Rochester, Hammondsport, Elmira, Geneva. I've got possibilities for placements down in Ithaca, up to 10. I've got 2 schools that are interested down in Ithaca. So I'm trying to find host families for down in that area as well.
Okay.
So, so basically what happens is we connect with the schools and find out how many students they have room to bring in. And then once we know how many students we can place in an area, then we try to find host families for that number of students.
Gotcha. And are you coordinating anything in terms of like American students going back? I mean, it's called foreign exchange. It would include like a 1-for-1, but it's not always that way.
Right. So my job deals with the inbound students who are coming here. So I'm not as familiar with the way that our outbound students go. I imagine their process is very similar to the students who are incoming. But if you go to our website, which is yfuusa.org, you can find information about both processes. Yeah.
Okay. One thing I was always kind of impressed by, or kind of wondered about with foreign exchange students is, okay, so they're willing to give up a year of their life to leave their family and friends and come to a different country, and reintegrate with it. Like, what motivates these students, or what's the profile of the student that wants to do this?
That's also a very good question. These students are curious, and they are highly motivated. A lot of them are ambitious. They want to achieve greater things than perhaps just their local area or their local communities might be able to offer them. So these students are very open to having new experiences. Their whole purpose in coming here is to learn about the American way of life and being able to have that experience here, because a lot of times they only see what they know is what they see in movies, or what they're streaming online. And we all know there's not a whole high level of reality in these things. So these students want to come here and understand what American life really is, and have that chance to expand their horizons and meet new people and make new friends. And we find that's really one of the greatest benefits for both the students and the families who host them. So according to the American Field Services International Program, they did a study of intercultural exchange students. 85% of the students say that they gained a greater understanding of the world and an interest in the world and the things that are happening in it. A whopping 91% of the families who hosted these students said that they became more curious and open to other cultures. And the third thing that was really interesting is the majority of schools reported that they had stronger community engagement and a higher or improved climate among the student body in the school when they had foreign exchange students in their community.
Yeah, the benefit I think goes both ways. It's great for, American students to get exposed to someone and actually build relationships with someone from a different part of the world.
Yes.
So I imagine as a school participating in this program, you're actually providing a better experience for your the students that live here. And you mentioned the benefits to the host family. We're going to touch on that a little bit later too.
Okay.
How to become a host family and all that stuff. But are you finding that these students are coming from particular parts of the world, or is it pretty widely diverse?
No, it's very widely diverse. We've got students from 6 continents that come to study here. So yes, it's very diverse. We have I think we have 40. I think I'm not 100% sure about the numbers, but I think we've got 42 field offices, and we have students from like 55 different countries.
Wow.
Of course, Germany, Denmark, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Thailand, China, Japan, Chile, Brazil, several from African countries and Middle Eastern. We have several Lebanese, I believe. So yeah, we have students from all continents and all levels of interest who want to come.
Yeah, here at Seneca Falls at Miners, my daughter graduated from high school 2 years ago, but throughout her 4 years of high school, there was a family we know that hosted 2 kids from Italy, brother and sister, and they were very popular. And everybody loved them. They were just great kids. And,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a unique thing. These foreign exchange student programs. And again, I'm always thinking like, geez, these kids that do this, they have a lot of guts. They
Yeah.
to do that. So that alone is impressive. But in many cases, geez, all the foreign exchange students I've ever come in contact with also speak English. Is that a prerequisite?
Yes. Yes, they have to demonstrate proficiency with English, and there is a test that they need to take. So when they come here, they are expected to be able to speak and communicate in English, both verbal and written, to the point where they can participate in a high school level class.
Right.
That's conducted in English. So, yeah, that is part of it. And you're saying like the benefits to these students, and what we like to say is when they come here, they don't just exchange languages and traditions. They exchange their hearts and perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the most important part.
Yeah, it's one foreign exchange student in one school could really have an impact on dozens, if not hundreds of students in the community they're visiting.
And it's not just in the school, because another component that we expect our students to do is participate in social events. We want them to be a benefit to the community in which they are living. So we ask them to find opportunities to volunteer, do community service, and really become integrated with the family and community in which they are living.
So, I guess a lot of people watching this program some people might be thinking, oh, geez, that would be kind of interesting to host a foreign exchange student. So let's kind of shift gears and talk about things from the host side.
Okay.
Now, you have a personal story, right? Where your family hosted a foreign exchange student when you were in school?
Yes. Well, and this is where we can show this
Sure.
this picture.
There
So
it is.
that is from the summer of 1979.
It is a very 1970s looking picture.
What
right?
gave it away? The hair? Yeah, so this is from 1979 when my family hosted, we actually had 2 Danish people from a soccer exchange program that we're involved in. There's Visti and Niels, and Visti is second from the left, and Niels is 4th from the left. So
So it looks like one was maybe junior, senior high school, and the other one
was
was like a
19.
middle school.
yeah, no, so the taller one, he was 19 years old. That was Visti.
Okay.
And the other fella, he's got the shirt with the red collar. That was
Oh,
Niels.
okay, I got you.
Niels was one of the assistant coaches, so he was older.
Mm-hmm.
But those 2 became my 4th and 5th brothers. They call my mom their American mother. And as a matter of fact, just earlier this year, in April of this year, my family went on vacation to Scotland, and Visti and his wife came and joined us.
Oh,
So,
wow.
however, so 40 some odd
Yeah.
number of years later, we're still in touch with them, and our children are all love each other, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's really a like long-term, lifelong friend impact.
Yeah, I
that
can
having
imagine. They're
exchange
living
students-
with you. They're literally like members of your family for that
Yes.
year that they're here.
Yeah, well, they were actually only here for about 2 months,
Oh wow.
but they have come back to visit us just about every year, and we've gone over to visit them, and
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, so we did go on to host several other exchange students over the years through various programs. There was one was a music program, like a concert series. We did take in some foreign exchange students who were here for a year as well. And so all of them, they're all a different experience, but each had a lesson, and we made connections with, and again, created greater understanding about that part of the world. So one thing that so you're asking about like kind of some of the benefits of being a host.
Yeah.
And there's two programs that I want to point out that Youth for Understanding offers. The first is the School Community Grant Program, and this is any school that hosts one of our exchange students. For each student that they host, they get a $1,000 grant that they can offer to any student in their school to go on a foreign exchange program. Now, if the host family, when somebody hosts a student, they're also offered the same grant. So we will give them a $1,000 grant to use for one of their natural children to go on a foreign exchange program. So if by any chance the school and the host family combined, that's a $2,000 grant for that student to facilitate foreign exchange
So
travel.
let's talk about the finances of it. So there is the grant if you want to use if you want it to be your household or school to send a student to another country. But when a host family takes on a student, are they responsible for, obviously the just like one of their own children, all the necessities of life, financially, it's something that they have to be willing to take on?
They're not entirely financially responsible. So the host family needs to have in the physical setup of their house, The student needs to have an actual bed, not like an air mattress or a
Yeah,
futon.
right.
No, they need an actual bed, and in a bedroom with a door that closes. Now, the bedroom can be shared, but they need to be able to have a door that closes for their privacy.
Yep.
Same with the bathroom. The bathroom has to have a door that closes,
Sure.
and everything needs to work properly. So they need to also be able to offer the student 3 meals a day. So basically, room and board is the expectation of the host family. The students come, they are actually, their natural family is really the ones who are footing the bill for the students coming over. So most of them come over with some kind of a credit card or a debit card that can be loaded
Sure.
by their natural family. So when these students are here, if they want to buy themselves clothes, if they want to get, treats, gifts for people, things like that, that's on them.
Yeah.
Okay, so the host family's financial expectation is basically providing room and board just like they would for their own kids.
But I do imagine that every host family is a little different.
Yes.
Some might be a little better off and want to do a little more. But is there a baseline? You mentioned the bed and the closing door for the bathroom and the bedroom. But is there any host families that ever get just denied because, do you have to go and inspect the home?
Yes.
Okay.
So host families are vetted just as carefully as the students are.
Sure.
So yes, they need to apply. I go and I do an interview with them, and their finances are a component to that. We cannot place a student with a family that is on any kind of social
Look assistance.
assistance, yes. Because if they need that to take care of their own family,
Right.
they don't need the burden of another student, especially we all know teenagers and how they can eat. So any family that's on any kind of welfare or social assistance programs, we can't accept them as a host family. We don't get into their finances. We don't ask to see bank statements and things like that, but we do ask to make sure that they are in stable jobs, that they make enough money, that they feel financially secure, that they have a plan. Also, part of the vetting process is anyone in the household who age 17 or over has to undergo a background check to make sure that they are safe
Sure.
placement.
So if like a 17-year-old at one of these host families had been arrested for some sort of assault, or that would be disqualifying?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
because
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're a parent from
Yeah.
another country sending your child to live with another family, I mean, you would like to have the assurance that it's a safe environment.
Yeah, and that's one of the questions that when I'm doing a host family interview, YFU asks me, would you be comfortable with your child in
Yeah,
this
right.
home?
It's a good barometer.
And yeah, and it's a very valid question. The other thing is that our programs, although the students come through on scholarship, but our program is still overseen by the United States Department of State. And so they put out guidelines and criteria that we have to follow, and all our reports get submitted to them to make sure that we are conducting the programs properly and safely, because the safety of these students is our number one priority.
Sure. Any, I don't want to, I mean, I think we do have to talk about some of the potential like negative things that could happen, because I think that's what maybe our viewers might be wondering. But like, what happens if a student comes over and after like a few weeks, they're like, I don't like this. Like, what is their recourse?
So every student, usually about week 2 or so, starts getting homesick.
Yeah, right.
And some of them to a greater degree than others. So I am every student, host family, and school's first line of defense. Okay, so I have been trained by Youth for Understanding in mediation techniques and interpersonal facilitation. So if there is ever a problem, we don't want the host family getting into any kind of confrontational situation with the student.
Sure.
That's, that will lead to no good.
Right.
So if there is a problem that's developing, we ask the host family or the student to come talk to us first. And to that point, every month I make in-person contact with both the student and the host family. Even if it's just like a 5-minute sit down over a cup of tea or something, how's things going, how are you feeling, etc. I will also do check-ins with the school to make sure that there haven't been any behavioral issues or reports, turned in there that may not have been shared with the family either. So yes, but with these frequent check-ins, it helps me have a larger picture of what's going on from everybody's perspective. Usually the students, they get past the homesickness as long as they are kept engaged with their family and with their school. And
Sure, it's like if like I said, my daughter went to college. A lot of people have kids that go to college.
just
and
like
that
when they
first
go to
week,
college,
they're like,
yeah.
"Oh man, I want to come home," and then by the third or fourth week, they never want to come home.
Yeah. No, my daughter was like, "Bye, Mom."
Yeah.
But no, it's very much like a kid going off to college,
Yeah.
and the homesickness does pass as they become more engaged and connected with the immediate world around them. They also are able to. We ask them to not make contact more than once a week or so with their parents or friends back home, because we do want them to get integrated with their placement here. But it's not like they're cut off entirely for the entire year.
So does the host families, the exchange students' original family back, abroad, do they have a direct line of contact with you?
Yes.
Like they can
Well,
reach out at any time?
Yes, so they usually go through the field offices for
Okay.
the direct
Yep.
conversation, because again, we don't want the host family, or we don't want the natural family calling the host parents and being like, is Gustav taking his milk,
Yeah, right,
whatever,
Yeah.
We want the students to have a certain level of independence and autonomy to be able to form their own experience and their own opinion of their life here. The other thing, though, I do also want to point out is if a more serious issue develops, YFU does have people on staff who are trained clinical
So they can be deployed
clinical support, who would be able to help with more if the student is starting to have get to the point of some kind of mental health
Sure.
issue. We do have people who are medically trained and licensed to provide that assistance as well. And if ultimately things do unravel all the way, it's not common, but students can be pulled from their placement and either put with a different host family, an alternative, or if they themselves are the problem and are breaking code of conduct, if they are drinking or doing drugs, things like that, they get booted out of the program and sent
back
home.
home. Okay. Well, now the $1 million question. How do you become a host family if you're interested?
Call me. Yeah, so the host families, let me see. I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure I've got everything covered. So we talked about the physical requirements in the home. The bedrooms have to have an actual bed, a door, they have to have a window, and they have to have storage. The bathroom has to have a door and be fully functional. The student has to be offered 3 meals a day. They need a place where they can study, whether that's in their own room, dining room table, wherever they're comfortable, as long as they have no place to study. Host families, a lot of people think that you need to have a kid in high school.
Right.
That's not true. We accept families of all spectrums and all colors. So a lot of them, yes, do have a student in high school, but interestingly, a lot of middle school families like to have an older student come in who can model good grades and start teaching their kids even younger about being global citizens and things of that nature. It's okay if you have no kids at all. And all you have to do to be a host family is be 25 or older and have the desire and open heart to foster these positive experiences for these
So even
kids.
like a newly retired couple
Yep.
might want to, they have a nice home and their kids are grown. They might want to just bring someone in and okay.
Yep. In fact, I have a lady who's both of her children have gone off to college, and she misses having that young presence of somebody in her house. So she has decided to take an exchange student.
So if somebody wants to take the next step, what do they? Is there a website? Do they go to yfuusa.org or do they phone number?
To find out more information, yes, they can go to yfuusa.org. They can contact me directly at yfulocal@gmail.com. Or my phone number, can I give that?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
My business phone number is area code 607-216-8234. And so you can email me, you can call or text me, you can go through the website online, and there's a lot of information. You can get there's so much more information, and I know people have probably so many more questions. A lot of information is available on our website. The one other thing that I want to throw out there is, even if you feel like you can't be a host family right now, if you're not in that position, if you know somebody who is, we offer a $300 referral fee to anybody who sends a family our way who ends up hosting one of our students. So that's another benefit we like to offer. So we have several different avenues for people to come and enjoy this wonderful experience.
Yeah, that's great. Real interesting talking to you today. And again, if you want to learn more, yfuusa.org. You can email Robin at yfulocal@gmail.com or call her at 607-216-8234 if you're interested in learning more about the program, being a host family. Shake it up a little bit, right?
Add some spice to your life, people.
Yeah, make it a little more worldly. But again, it's something that we've all experienced. Anybody that's gone to high school in America, I think, has had interactions with foreign exchange students. And I know in our community, several people who've been host families, and it's all been a positive. All of my experiences that I've seen have been positive.
It is literally a life-changing experience for everyone involved.
Well, that's awesome. It's a great place to end it. Robin, thanks for spending the time
Thank you
coming
so
in
much,
and
Jim.
telling us about this. Learned a lot today. Definitely interesting. Like I said, it's something that we've all seen and been exposed to, but I don't really, unless you really thought about it, there's a lot entailed in it. So that'll about do it for us. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed the show, click like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back next Wednesday. Until then, it's cooling down a little bit this weekend, thank goodness, here in the Finger Lakes. So get out there and enjoy one of the last few weekends before Labor Day here. So have a good one, everybody.